But I just would like to submit that a great offer is going to outperform a big audience every single day of the week. Hi, friends. Welcome back to the podcast. This is podcast episode 538, the first one from my newly wallpapered office. Okay, so if you like just listening to the podcast, that's great, but you are missing out on some really cool wallpaper. If you want to see the wallpaper, flip over to YouTube and you can look at the podcast there and see the incredible wallpaper that's behind me right now. I'm so excited about it. We've got Ava Allwood's graduation this tomorrow, and then graduation party at our house for 200 people on Sunday. And all it takes is like having an event at your house to get some stuff done around the house. I mean, can every single woman here attest to that? Just plan a party at your house and you will be doing the things you've been meaning to do. I have wanted to wallpaper this room for 7 years, guys. 7 years. And I'm obsessed with it. It makes me feel super happy. So I hope that you like it. And if you want to know why is Ava Allwood already graduating, she's not old enough, is she? She's graduating a year early. So you would have to just Google Jennifer Allwood. Actually, let me Google this for you. Hang on. It is Jennifer Allwood. I'm going to give you the number. 1 second. Ava Allwood. And then, oh, can I do this while I'm talking? You can go and listen to my podcast episode with Ava that I think we maybe did in January. I highly suggest you watch it on YouTube only because she's as cute as a little button. Ava Allwood. I swear I can type podcast. Okay, it is podcast number 493. So go to 493. You will see my podcast with Ava Allwood. It is on YouTube also, and you can get all the details on why she's graduating a year early. So therefore, I had to get the office wallpaper done. But that is not the point of this podcast today. So I am excited about the podcast today because I don't know that I've ever actually talked about this topic, in 500 and some episodes, actually closer to 700 if you remember that I used to do the Monday Fires and they had a different numbering schedule. But I am a perfect example of what I'm about to talk about today. Okay. I'm talking about why having a really great offer matters more than a really great audience, or why having a killer offer beats a big audience every single day of the week. Why you don't necessarily need more followers, you need a better offer in front of the followers that you have. Because so often people think it's my audience size that's the problem. And the truth is, that's not the problem. Your offer may be the problem. And so that's what I want to discuss today because I have personal experience in this. And I feel like I've just learned so much in the last decade about having the right offer. So listen, I know that in today's social media obsessed world, it is so tempting to get really obsessed with growing your following. And the following, it definitely matters, okay? But the following is not necessarily where the money is made. Because if you don't have something that your followers want to purchase, then having more eyeballs, having more followers, having more people see it is not what's going to help. You're just going to get burned out a lot faster. I've seen people with 300 Instagram followers, the right ones, making bank because they put the right thing in front of the right people. I've also seen people with 30,000 followers who can't sell their audience a thing. I've seen people, I mean, have you ever seen people with like 1 million followers and they get just a couple of comments, on their Instagram posts? A lot of times I'm like, did they buy those followers? I don't know. But the offer is what matters, friends. What you're putting in front of them to buy is the very foundation. If it's confusing, if it's unclear, if it's generic, if it doesn't hit just right, then people just scroll right past it, whether you have 300 followers or 30,000. But if you can get the right thing in front of those 300 followers or 30,000, like winner, chicken dinner, that's what your goal needs to be. Okay. We've got to stop trying to build the house before we lay the foundation of your business. And your offer is the foundation of your business. All right. I will tell you that on occasion, I'll have someone come into my coaching group and they'll say, Jen, my audience is small. And so like what size does it have to be before I, make an offer and put something in front of it? Maybe it's a coaching group, maybe it's a consulting package, maybe it's a product, a membership site or what have you. And I'll be like, okay, if you can put the right thing in front of your 300 people, like, why wouldn't you do that? Why are you waiting until some magical number that does not exist, by the way? Like, it's so funny because we all want to have something tangible. When I get to 5,000 followers, then I'll sell something. When I get to X, then I'll do Y. But the truth is, you need to be doing X the whole time. You need to be putting something for sale in front of your small audience. And if it's the right thing, it's going to be lucrative. Okay. So I just want to talk today about that because so many people think and they get stuck on the fact that they need more followers, and followers matter. And you guys have heard me talk a ton about like growing your email list. Your email list matters. So many people come to me with issues with engagement on their social media. I get it. This is, it is kind of across the board. Everybody, doesn't have the reach that they really wish that they did. And what people think is if I had more followers, a bigger email list, and more engagement, then I would be getting more sales. But I just would like to submit that a great offer is going to outperform a big audience every single day of the week. And I kind of want to use myself as an example right here. So stick with me. Okay. So I can remember years ago, I had 100,000 followers on social media. And it was on my Facebook. I had 100,000 followers. So you would think, okay, 100,000 followers, I should at least be making $100,000 a year. That's what I was thinking. But yet I wasn't. But yet I wasn't. And I also remember trying to do like a paid webinar, or did I do a free one? I think I did a paid one. And then at the end of the paid webinar, I pitched like some course I was going to do or membership or something. I don't even remember because this was 10, 12 years ago. And it fell flat with my audience. Not one single person purchased my course at the end of that webinar. Not one. And I can remember just being devastated because what we tend to do, especially early on in business, and let me know if you're watching on YouTube, like respond to this real quick. Give me a comment in the chat. If you're listening, go over to Instagram, send me a DM. But what is so tempting to do, especially as women who are just starting in the online business, is to internalize the results of that launch, even though I didn't even realize back then that I was launching. So it was so tempting to think, bad launch equals bad gen. Bad launch equals bad offer. Bad launch equals bad business. Bad launch equals bad at being a business person. Like it's crazy how our mind can do funny things, and the stories that we'll tell ourselves based on our results. And so I had to really like try my best to control that, to not internalize the fact that I had a launch where I got 0 people. Because what we want to do is we want to make that about us. And we somehow have to just look at it as data and as feedback on what things are. So in my head, I was assuming, okay, I bet I just put the wrong thing in front of them. I mean, with 100,000 people, you'd think one would go, hey, Jen, I'll do this with you, but not one. So it was shortly after that that I actually joined my first mastermind, and I hadn't even joined it yet, but I was having a conversation. Oh, it was in my second mastermind with Stu McLaren, and he was backstage at his gosh, was he? I think he was having his live event, and I had a ticket. And I went and I was asking somebody about his mastermind. I think it might have even been Rachel Miller. And she was like, well, let me just go intro you to him. So he's back like behind the curtain in a green room area. And, I'm like, hi, I'm Jennifer. Hi, I'm Stu. He's like, how can I help you? And I'm like, well, I have like over 100,000 followers on social media. I own a painting company in Kansas City that I really would like to transition out of and just completely go online because I knew in my knower that all the money was online. I knew the direction social media was heading. I knew that my service-based business was doing well, but we also had a lot of competition. And I only made money when I physically worked with my service-based business. So I wanted to shift to the online space. And I said, so, I've been trying some things. And with 100,000 followers, I just launched, a course and nobody signed up. And he was like, all right, Jennifer, I can definitely help you. You should be making a ton of money if you have 100,000 followers. And if you're not, it's because you're not putting the right thing in front of them. And that was like my first experience going, okay, it's not that I didn't know what I was doing. It's not that I wasn't good at a lot of things. I just hadn't figured out yet how to craft the perfect offer that was irresistible, that was relevant, and that people were going to buy. Okay, so listen, what makes a great offer then? What does that look like? If you're sitting in your end of this, podcast right now and you're wondering, okay, Jen, define great offer. Well, it's not just like the product or the service, but it's also like the packaging, the positioning, the promise. This is reminding me of a conversation I actually had with a friend's mother at the bus stop this morning. And my friend at the bus stop, her mom works for Nordstrom's. And she was telling me, the sale starts today, the 3-2-1 sale. And I was like, ooh, what's the 3-2-1 sale? Or wait, was it the 1-2-3 sale? It might have been the 1-2-3. She's like, well, if you buy one thing, you get like, I don't know, 20% off. If you buy two things, you get 25% off. You get three things, you get 30% off. And I'm thinking to myself with my business mind, not thinking with my shopping mind, but thinking with my business mind, that is a great offer to get people to like buy in mass, or not necessarily mass, but to get them to buy more than one thing. What a great offer. And so when you're thinking about what equals a great offer, it has to be super clear. That to me is super clear. If you're like, well, if you do this, you get this, and that, you get that, and this, you get that, and people's eyeballs are glazing over as they listen to you, that's not clear. Okay. Your offer also needs to solve a problem. Now, is Nordstrom solving a problem? You could say no. You could also say yes for those people who, want to go shopping for an outfit plus shoes plus jewelry, whatever. Maybe then you could say they're solving a problem. But your offer has to solve a problem of some sort. It was when I finally figured out, okay, if I just teach people how to do exactly what I did, how to build, a six-figure a year cabinet painting company, how to start painting furniture out of your garage and making money at it, how to use Pinterest to really, up your business and get you more traffic to your website. When I really figured out what my audience wanted, man, I was solving a problem for them. I was making the buyer of that offer feel like they were going to learn something clear, concrete that they could apply instantly to their business. That was key. Okay. Because your offer has to be so clear. Like losing 10 weeks with, or 10 pounds in 6 weeks without giving up carbs. That's so clear. Start an online business in 30 days, even if you're not tech savvy, totally clear. We just launched website in a week. Build a website in 5 days for $7. I mean, that's super clear, right? Opposed to things like wellness coaching with Jen, business coaching with Jen. Like those are not that I would ever do wellness coaching, but those are so loosey goosey and you've just got to firm it up. Okay. The thing is, people often want to obsess with their audience size instead of the offer. And I'm going to tell you why. There's a lot of ego attached to the size of your audience. We have been groomed to think that bigger always means better. And a lot of times it just doesn't. It honestly doesn't. If you have filled your audience with coupon cutters, people that only want free things, people that are not your ideal client, it literally does not matter. It doesn't. And, another reason that people over obsess, in my opinion, over their number of followers that they have is because they fear that, okay, if it's easier almost to focus on gaining more followers than it is to focus on putting something out into the world and seeing if people actually buy it. But your numbers are just like vanity matrix. They really are. It's social proof, and which helps when somebody's trying to decide, do I buy from this person? They'll more than likely buy from you if you have 10,000 followers versus 100 every day of the week. But just having big social media numbers for the sake of big social media numbers is definitely does not pay the bill. So here's what you need to do. Every single one of you needs to look at the things that you are offering for sale right now to your audience. You need to make sure you're asking really good questions. Are people actually purchasing this? And if not, well, what are people actually asking me for? What transformation can I confidently help them get? And confident is a key word there, friends, because if you're not confident about what it is that you're offering, people can smell that a mile away. They just can, literally through their computers, through their cell phone. They can smell it. So make sure that it's something that you have done and are doing. Therefore, you're confident in it. I've had people come to my coaching before and they want to offer something out into the world that they themselves have never done and never had success in. And every single time I tell them it's out of integrity. Like, let's figure out something else that you have done that maybe leads to something like this later, but you can't teach on the thing that you have not done. You just can't. Okay. Look at your offer and make sure your language is really clean. It's really clear. It's punchier. It's very direct. Add some urgency to your offer. Add bonuses to your offer. Add irresistible guarantees to your offer and then test it. Yes, even with your tiny audience. Test it and see what lands because you have a lot of control, not so much control over the reach on social media. You don't have a ton of control over the algorithms, right? But you do have control over your offer. And, growing an audience is definitely imperative, but it takes time. And fixing a pitch, fixing an offer is something that you can do today. You can literally do today. So, for those of you that have put stuff for sale out on the internet and it has not landed, listen, you are not invisible. You're not bad at business. It's not that nobody wants what you have. You just need to make the offer better. And if you're still stuck with that, if you're like, well, I don't know how to make it better, ask some clients, ask some of your ideal people. Use Chat GPT. Use Chat GPT and ask it, like, how can I rename this course or this membership or this whatever so that people actually want to sign up for it? I think that's key. Ask them to make an offer headline in like 10 words or less. That's like super clear, super concise. And when people get it, man, everything can change. So I hope that's so helpful for you today. I hope that I made the point that having a killer offer every single day of the week beats having a really big audience all the time. And you don't necessarily need more followers. You just need to really clear up what it is that you do and what you're offering to people. All right. If this was helpful to you, fabulous. Go leave me a review. Share this on Instagram if you want. If you know a small business owner who's having trouble making sales, I want you to send this to him or her. Just forward this podcast to them. It's always such a blessing to me when you guys do that because it gets this podcast in front of new people without me having to run ads. So please know that I appreciate you every single time you either share the podcast on social media or share it with somebody personally. But overall, I just hope that this totally helps. Be encouraged today. You can fix an offer headline. You can fix, the clarity of what it is that you're selling. That is 100% fixable. It's fixable today. So be encouraged. Much love to you, friends. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.